Hello everybody, thank you very much for watching. Today I would like to talk to you the difference between the holiday-let service accommodation and the corporate-let service accommodation models. So there's a three key differences that I sum up, and I will talk to you about the second. The second difference is the revenue model. For those people who don't understand what is revenue model, it's something to do with how you generate money. For example, we talk about pricing, payment terms, booking system and all of that. So the first thing that are different from the holiday-let and the corporate-let is the pricing strategies. This is the one usually make a lot of people confused, particularly the newer service accommodation operator who hasn't got a business background. They will think, what is that? So with the holiday-let, it's driven by dynamic pricing. Usually was using by a hotel. For example, you got a very smart tools, AI tools, or which then they look at the last 6 months of booking, the next future 6 months booking. With the hotel, they like it to book 6 months in advance. So when they sense that the booking is not quite there, if it's not been 100% booked 6 months in advance, what they do, they're suggesting based on the booking already in the system, in the whole surrounding area, they will recommend you to drop the price. So they will then change the price without your permission. They assuming you give permission for them to work. They then change the price from £150 a night to maybe £50 a night, simply because they need to boost up the occupancy level. So the difference between the pricing strategies also, the holiday-let is usually fixed price. So 2-bed apartment, 3-bedroom house, they have one price for the whole place. And if you've got 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, whatever number of people, holiday usually not charging you the extra person. You make one booking, one price for one place. The difference between the corporate-let often, depending on the different type of operator, is that they will have a price for the base rate for the number of people, could be 3 people, 2 people, 4 people. Any additional person, they charge the extra rate. So if you've got a larger group for 8 people, they charge you for 8 people. If you only got 5 people, they charge 5 people. That's why, because the flexibility for the corporate-let, if you got a group of customer who doing a project, this week they only got 5 people, next week they got 8 people, the week after they got 3. They would prefer to do a direct booking with the owner so that they can have only pay for the people who are staying rather than pay for the fixed rate. It could be too expensive for them if they got fewer people. So the next one, the differences is the operational process and system. Well, it's the check-in and check-out process could be quite different between holiday-let and the corporate-let. When the holiday-let, people going there for holiday, they need a bit of privacy. They just want to self-check in. Because of that, a lot of the hotels, smaller hotel, budget hotel, they would like to offer self-check-in process. You just do a self-check-in, you put in your own car, get the keys with the number, and then there you go. A lot of the time that avoid the cost to deal with the number of consumers on the phone or on the email and all of that to cut costs, they would not even want to see you if you are the one who booked in, which is perfect because you've gone on holiday, you don't really want people to watching you every minute at a time. But the corporate-let is different. They wanted to make sure that everyone checked in okay, everyone was comfortable. The HR person or the project manager need to make sure that they're speaking to the person who is in charge, because of the length of time they're staying and because the requirement is different, perhaps every week or thereafter, they need to be speaking to the person who's actually managing the place to make sure the hot water is there, make sure car parking is there, make sure they got the dinner table, dinner chairs, so make sure they got the fridges, they got enough sofa to sit on. They are there to service the people who are staying, making sure they're comfortable and nice. So therefore, they often like to talk to the person who managed the property. in order to guarantee that service level. So the B2B is fewer people you deal with, but you need to provide much higher service quality, much higher service standard. If you're not in a position to be able to answer in the phone, you're not in a position to look after them, to making sure they're happy, you likely will lose the customer because they need that as part of what they're paying for. So, and also another very crucial thing for the service accommodation, the corporate-led, is the availability. So although they would just book for a week to try it out when the project starts, they might book for 1 month to make sure the first few weeks sorted. They will, when they extend, when their project moving forward, they will want it to know that the place is available when they do need to extend. So what it looks like, they're not sure they need it or not need it, but you got to make sure if they do need the space, it's available for them. So you can't say, oh, I don't know if you need it for next month or not. Let me get somebody else booked in so that I make sure that I got the money. But if you do, then they'll be going somewhere else because you can't give them the availability when they need it. They'll be going somewhere else and not coming back. Because once they go there, they settle in, they like to stay when they need the availability. So you then have to have the system in place for core availability management, and revenue management to make sure that your communication with the company are so up to date that any changes for them needed the availability for next week or next month or next 3 months, next 6 months are, their needs are met so that they're not having to look for somewhere else to move. And that way, you're now having the mutual beneficial relationship where they're staying. It costs you less money to acquire customer, and they're happy with the place that they're staying. And for you, you got a consistent income coming in the near future. So, but you do need to have the system and process in place to make sure the communication is up to date. You know what they're doing. They know what your availability needed, and they can plan for the staff to work. You then can plan for whether or not you're releasing the availability or not. So for the smaller operator who hasn't got the system in place, oftentimes you lose the customer because you're not aware that's what they need. And that's one of the most important things for the corporate-led service accommodation system. The next one. So the marketing communication is very different. While it's for the holiday-led, they more like it if they would book for the third-party channel, for example, Airbnb or Booking.com, because they got a third party in case things go wrong. For a consumer, if you're paying £1,000 for a holiday for 4 days, you arrive in the place, there's no accommodation available for you to check in, like some of the scammer. They can then go to the Booking.com and complain, then the third-party hotel channel manager, the channel will offer them somewhere else as alternative. They will reverse the money that they pay. Or Airbnb, if you turn up, the house is not quite as you expected, they will then book you in elsewhere and then using the money they charge you to pay for it. So the consumer, unless they already been with you and say with you are 100% happy or look at the review that look like it should be all right, they would prefer to book through the channel, third-party channel, so that they can have the assurance they need. But the corporate-led are different. They wanted to talk to you so that they can making sure that what they need is there, like the second bathroom, the second car parking space, the kind of thing that they need in the house, the availability they need, and the price that they wanted with the budget that they wanted you to meet. They will want it to deal with you directly. So the business to business, they like direct booking. The business consumer, they would not like direct booking because it looks like it's a risk for them without knowing you. They trust you before they arrive. And the different setup of optimized space now, the holiday, they usually travel with family, they were like couples, they like the big double bed, king size bed, super king size. The contractor is different. They go there for work. You got a group of 8, 9, 10 people. They're not sharing beds. They will have their own bed. They don't mind sharing rooms. That means that the layout, the setup, the optimization is different. Well, it's for the holiday let, you want one double bed in one room, and then maybe some single bed in a different room for the children. But for the corporate-led, they want ideally double if they can get it. If not, then single, but they want more beds. And every room maybe 2 bed, like twin room. And if you've got like 4-bedroom house, they might want it to have, 4 twin rooms if they can get it. So that kind of having some comfort, as that, should I put one double, should I put two single? That all depends on your target market. If your target market is predominantly targeting the corporate-led, then your layout is going to be very different from if your market is mainly for holiday-led, you want it to the big super king size and whatever that is. So the other thing is that the costing, how much it costs to run the business. For the corporate-led, because the booking is more frequent, you might get a high occupancy, but then the checkout cleaning cost is going to be a lot higher because the turnaround is shorter, but it costs you more to run it. So for example, each checkout cleaning might cost you anything between £50 to £100. That's including the cleaner traveling to do the work. They might spend 2 hours to 4 hours doing the checkout clean, making sure everywhere is nice and clean and comfortable. And then you have also get the dirty laundry that they will take away and get it washed and bring back, or you hire a laundry company to sort it out, but it still costs you money. So the cost between each checkout is anything between, it could be £20-30 to 50 to even £100 in one situation. So if you've got like 3 checkout a month, it costs you maximum £300. Now, what if you've got 20 checkout? If you're predominantly targeting the holiday-led market, you may bring in for £1,000 or £6,000, whatever that is. Your checkout clean could be £1,000, could be £2,000 as well. So then you're looking at, well, the mortgage costs about £1,000, the bill costs £500, the checkout clean costs another £1,000. Then how much money you got left? That is why you really need to know what target you are focused on, because you need efficiency, you need to run it profitably, and cutting the cost to make sure that you got your own cleaning team to handle the laundry. Or like we do, we wanted to focus on the corporate-led. Our cleaning costs are a lot less because they check in, check out 4 or 5 days a week or 30 days, which means that we actually pull into the midday clean, 2 clean 1 month. It costs us maybe about £100 for the checkout clean, or maybe £200, which is not too bad. So the other things that for the customer who got a bit confused, sorry, not customer, for the operator, the service accommodation operator who got a bit confused, like I set up the accommodation for holiday market, or you don't actually know who you set it for because you don't actually know the difference between the holiday-led and the corporate-led. You said, I'm running out an Airbnb. Right, if you're running an Airbnb, you are targeting consumer because Airbnb is a third-party consumer, marketing channel. So you are running a holiday-led, like an Airbnb, but then you wanted to get the corporate-led, the business-to-business. But if you're setting up as a B2C, you're using B2C model. You then can't just get the B2B because you're not changing anything in the business, simply because you want the customer to come to you. You have to be focused and targeted. If you're running for holiday-led, you do what holiday-led should do, and you market as holiday-led market with the price, with the standard, with the service, with the process, with the system. That's how you do it. And if you target corporate-led, you then need to set up the price for the budget based on the corporate, the service level they need, and the standard that they want. And you market it to the channel, like that more direct channel, your phones, your websites, your emails. That's what the corporate normally how they do it. And you need to kind of invest a little bit on marketing as to make sure that your website and your direct channel are seen. And you will need to kind of make a lot more effort in the sales marketing, like calling them, contacting them, finding out, who's run what. So that's the second difference. And if you've got any questions in regarding to how to run a corporate-led, we do run events, we run webinars, and we're happy to help you. And you can drop in the comment below, ask me some questions, about it, or you're welcome to join us in our one-day in-person event, a masterclass, where you can learn about how to set up and scale and avoid a mistake that you can avoid. And I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I see you soon.